Have you ever been hurt by someone's words or actions? Maybe it was a friend, a family member, or even a colleague. Perhaps you found yourself in a situation where someone criticized you, belittled you, or betrayed your trust. And in that moment, you felt that deep sting, the urge to react, to lash out, to defend yourself, to make them understand how much they hurt you. But I'm here to ask you today, what if I told you that your greatest strength lies not in reacting to hurt, but in choosing to rise above it? What if the secret to living with peace, joy, and strength is learning to not let the actions of others control your emotions? What if you could be free from the anger, resentment, and frustration that come when people hurt you? In today's speech, I want to talk about how never reacting when someone hurts you can transform your life, protect your peace, and make you stronger than ever before. Let's dive in. Let's take a deep breath together for a moment. Now think about a time when someone hurt you, maybe with their words, their behavior, or their indifference. Think about that sting in your heart, that feeling of betrayal, the confusion of not understanding why they would treat you that way. Maybe you spent hours, even days, trying to figure out what you did wrong. Maybe you questioned your own worth, your actions, or your intentions. But here's the truth that can set you free: their actions have nothing to do with you. You see, when someone hurts you, it's never truly about you, it's about them. It's about their wounds, their insecurities, their struggles. It's about what they are carrying inside themselves that they haven't healed. Their hurtful words, their coldness, their anger, they come from a place deep within them that has nothing to do with the person you are. It has everything to do with where they are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Think about it for a moment. People can only give what they have inside. If their heart is full of bitterness, anger, and unresolved pain, those are the emotions they will express. They can't give you peace or love if they don't have peace or love within themselves. What they give you is a reflection of their internal struggles, not a reflection of your worth or value. How many times have you allowed someone else's actions to define your own self-worth? How many times have you absorbed their pain as if it was your own? How many times have you internalized their rejection, their criticism, or their cruelty, believing it meant something about you? In those moments, it's as if we hand over our emotional power, our peace, and our self-esteem to someone else. But what if I told you that the way people treat you is never about your worth? What if you realize that their words, their actions, and their judgment are more a reflection of their inner turmoil than anything about you? When someone lashes out at you, it's not because you deserve it. It's not because you are broken or unworthy or incapable. It's because they are hurting inside. People lash out when they feel threatened, insecure, misunderstood, or frustrated. They may not even be aware that they're projecting their pain onto you. But once you realize this truth, something incredible happens. You stop taking their hurt personally. You stop allowing their emotional outbursts to shape how you see yourself. You stop absorbing their negativity, their anger, their disappointment, and you begin to understand that they are acting from a place of their own unresolved issues. Now, I know this isn't always easy. It's incredibly difficult to separate your own feelings from someone else's behavior, especially when it comes from someone you love, someone close to you, or someone you respect. The truth is, it's hard to accept that someone you care about may be projecting their pain onto you. But that's exactly what's happening when people treat you badly. Their actions, their words, their attitudes, they come from a place inside of them that is unhealed, unresolved, and full of their own internal battles. When you understand this, you can release the grip that their actions have on your heart. You can choose not to let their negativity control your emotions or dictate how you feel about yourself. Have you ever been caught in a moment where someone hurt you? Maybe they spoke harshly, insulted you, betrayed your trust, or treated you unfairly. And in that split second, you felt the heat of anger rise in your chest. The urge to respond, to defend yourself, to show them that they've crossed a line can be overwhelming. You might feel a fire burning inside, as if your emotions are boiling over, and the only way to feel better is to lash out, to let them know exactly how much they've hurt you. But what if, in that moment, you chose something different? What if instead of reacting in anger, you responded with grace? What if you allowed yourself to be the bigger person, to rise above the situation, to hold your peace, even when everything inside you is screaming for a reaction? I know how hard it is. Trust me, I've been there. It's easy to let your emotions take over when someone attacks your character, insults your hard work, or treats you unfairly. But here's the thing, when you respond in anger, you give away your peace. You give away your power. You give away your joy. In that moment, you are allowing someone else's negativity to dictate your emotional state. You are giving them the power to control how you feel. Anger takes away your peace. It clouds your judgment, stirs up more chaos, and often leaves you feeling worse than you did before. But grace is different. Grace is power under control. Grace is the ability to rise above the noise and the hurt. Grace is a decision, not a feeling. It's choosing to react from a place of strength and understanding rather than from a place of pain and emotion. Grace is choosing to forgive when you've been wronged. It's choosing kindness even when you've been treated unfairly. It's choosing calm over chaos. Grace doesn't mean you allow yourself to be mistreated. It doesn't mean you condone bad behavior. It means that you choose to rise above it. When you respond with grace, you maintain control over your emotions. You don't let their words or actions dictate how you feel. You take a step back, pause, and give yourself the opportunity to choose a response that reflects who you truly are, not who they are. Grace is about being strong enough to control your response instead of letting anger or frustration take the reins. It's about taking the high road, even when the low road seems so much easier and more satisfying in the moment. Imagine this: someone insults you, hurts you, or betrays you in some way. In the past, you might have fired back, fought back, raised your voice, or lashed out with words that stung just as much as the ones they used against you. But now, in this moment, you choose grace. You take a deep breath. You stay calm. Instead of reacting, you reflect. You don't give in to the rush of anger. You don't let the negativity consume you. Instead, you choose peace. You choose to respond with kindness, or sometimes you choose not to respond at all. In that moment, you take back your power. When you respond with grace, you are the one in control. You are the one who chooses your emotional state. You are the one who chooses not to let someone else's actions steal your peace. It's in that moment of grace that you show your true strength. You show that you are not defined by the words or actions of others. You are defined by how you respond. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's natural. Grace requires practice. It requires self-awareness. It's a decision you have to make in every situation where you feel the heat of anger rising. And it's a decision that requires discipline. But let me tell you, when you choose grace over anger, something incredible happens. You become a person who is not easily shaken. You become someone who is not tossed around by every wave of emotion that comes your way. You become someone who is unmovable, unshakable, and unbothered by the negativity around you. You become someone who radiates peace in a world full of chaos. Here's another truth: when you respond with grace, you give others the space to grow. The world may tell you that you need to set them straight or teach them a lesson when they hurt you. But in reality, your greatest strength is often in your ability to let things go, to forgive, and to move forward without holding on to the offense. When you respond in anger, you perpetuate the cycle of hurt. But when you respond with grace, you break that cycle. You show them by example that there's a better way to live, a higher road to take. You show them that love, kindness, and understanding can heal even the deepest wounds. I think about how much lighter your heart would feel if you stopped holding on to grudges, stopped reacting to every hurt, stopped taking things so personally. Imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if you didn't let anger, frustration, or resentment take root inside you. When you respond with grace, you free yourself from the burden of bitterness. You free yourself from the cycle of retaliation, and you set your heart on a path of healing. And here's the beautiful thing: grace transforms. It transforms you, and it transforms those around you. When you respond with grace, you may not always get an immediate apology or understanding from the other person. But over time, your calmness, your patience, and your ability to forgive will leave an impact. It will soften hearts. It will open minds. It will inspire others to rise above their own anger and bitterness. I think of all the people who have responded with grace in your life, those who chose not to retaliate when they were hurt, those who gave you a second chance, those who forgave you even when you didn't deserve it. Their grace left an imprint on your heart, and now you have the power to do the same. You have the power to respond to the world with grace, to break the chains of anger, and to live a life that is peaceful, joyful, and free. So when someone hurts you, when life throws challenges your way, remember this: you don't have to react with anger. You can choose grace. You can choose to take a deep breath, to stay calm, to rise above the situation, and to respond with kindness, understanding, and love. When you choose grace, you choose peace. When you choose grace, you choose freedom. And when you choose grace, you show the world that love is always stronger than anger. Let's get real for a moment. How many times have you tried to control someone else's behavior? How many times have you wished you could change how they think, what they say, or how they treat you? Maybe it was a loved one, a friend, or even a colleague who just didn't get it, didn't understand you, or just wouldn't act the way you wanted them to. And in your heart, you felt this deep frustration, the belief that if they could just change, everything would be better. But here's the truth that will set you free. You cannot control other people, no matter how hard you try. Let that sink in for a second. No matter how much you love them, no matter how hard you work to convince them, no matter how much you try to fix them, you cannot control another person's actions, thoughts, or feelings. You can't change their attitude, their mindset, or their behavior. You can't make them apologize or act the way you want them to act. You can't make them value, respect you, or love you the way you think they should. And here's the kicker that's okay. I know it's tough to accept. I know it's hard to watch someone make choices you don't agree with, to see them hurt themselves, hurt others, or hurt you. We often feel the need to step in, to intervene, to fix things because we care deeply for them. We want them to see what they're doing wrong. We want them to wake up to the consequences of their choices. We want them to change because we believe that if they could just change, we would be happier, our relationships would be better, and life would be easier. But here's a truth that brings liberation: you cannot change anyone else, and the sooner you accept that, the more peace you'll find. When you realize that you can't control what other people do, say, or think, you stop draining your energy on things outside of your control. Instead of constantly trying to fix others, you begin to focus on the only thing you can truly control: yourself. You can control your reactions. You can control your emotions. You can control how you respond to the actions of others. You can choose how you let their words or behaviors affect you. And most importantly, you can choose to protect your own peace. Think about the times when you've been hurt, frustrated, or upset by someone's actions. Think about how it felt to try and change them, to plead with them, or to argue with them about how they should behave. How did that make you feel? Most likely, it only made the situation worse. The more you try to control someone, the more resistance you face, and the more drained you become. Trying to control others is like holding onto a burning hot coal, expecting them to feel the pain. It's exhausting, frustrating, and ultimately it hurts you more than it hurts them. So what if instead of trying to control others, you put that same energy into controlling your response? What if you focused on controlling how you handle situations, how you choose to interpret other people's actions, and how you protect your own emotional well-being? What if you focused on yourself? You see, when you realize that you cannot control other people, you begin to take back your power. The power to choose your response, the power to control your emotions, the power to protect your peace. Let me share an example with you. Think about a time when someone was rude to you. Maybe they cut you off in conversation, ignored you, or treated you unfairly. How did you respond? Most of us instinctively want to fight fire with fire, to argue, to defend ourselves, to prove them wrong. But that's where we lose our power. When you react to someone else's negativity, you're letting them dictate your emotional state. You're giving them the power to control how you feel. Now imagine a different scenario. Imagine you're confronted with the same person, the same situation, but this time you choose a different path. Instead of reacting in anger, frustration, or hurt, you take a step back. You take a deep breath. You choose to stay calm. You choose to respond with patience. You choose to let it go instead of holding on to the negativity. That is power. That is control. When you choose to control yourself, you free yourself from the grip of other people's actions. Their behavior doesn't have to ruin your day. Their negativity doesn't have to determine your mood. You are no longer controlled by the unpredictability of others. You are no longer at the mercy of their actions. You are in control of how you respond. Here's the most empowering part of all of this. When you focus on controlling yourself, you become the person you were meant to be. Instead of reacting out of anger, frustration, or hurt, you begin to respond out of peace, strength, and wisdom. You begin to make choices that reflect who you truly are, not who they are. And in doing so, you begin to set boundaries that protect your heart, your mind, and your spirit. It's like a ripple effect. When you change how you respond to others, you change the energy of the entire situation. People may still act in ways that upset you. They may still say things that hurt. But when you choose not to react, you don't just protect yourself, you also set an example for them. You show them that it's possible to stay calm in the face of chaos. You show them that their actions don't have the power to control your peace. And over time, that calmness, that strength will begin to affect them. It will open up the possibility for growth and change, not through force or manipulation, but through your example. When you focus on controlling yourself, you begin to release the burden of trying to control others. You stop carrying the weight of their choices, their attitudes, and their emotions. You stop letting their behavior steal your joy and peace. You can finally focus on your own journey, your own growth, and your own happiness. You can finally focus on becoming the best version of yourself no matter what anyone else does. So remember, you cannot control other people, but you can control how you respond. And in doing so, you regain your peace and your power. You regain control over your own life. There's something deeply human about the desire for revenge or validation. When someone wrongs us, when we feel rejected, overlooked, or betrayed, our instinct is often to fight back, to somehow get even, or to prove to others that we were right all along. We feel this burning need for justice, a need to restore the balance of fairness. We long to see those who hurt us experience the same pain, the same regret that they made us feel. Or perhaps we search for validation, a desperate need to have others see us for who we really are, to affirm our worth, to acknowledge the pain we've endured. We want to be seen, heard, and validated by the world. But here's the truth: clinging to revenge or validation keeps you tethered to the past. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of bitterness, resentment, and insecurity. Every time you think about getting back at someone or proving your worth, you're giving away your peace, your joy, and your emotional energy. You're allowing someone else's actions, words, or opinions to control your happiness and your inner peace. The need for revenge or validation keeps you in a prison, and you're the one holding the key to your freedom. Let's talk about revenge first. When someone wrongs you, maybe they lie about you, betray your trust, or hurt you in a way that seems unforgivable. The emotional pain is real. You feel the sting deep in your heart, a wound that seems to take longer to heal than you ever expected. It's natural to feel angry. It's natural to feel like you've been wronged. It's natural to want to see them pay for what they've done, to see them face the consequences of their actions. But here's the hard truth: seeking revenge never heals the wound, it only deepens it. Think about it. When you plot or fantasize about getting back at someone, does it really bring you the satisfaction you're hoping for? Does it make the pain go away? Does it change the way you feel about yourself or about the situation? The reality is, revenge consumes you. It keeps you focused on the wrong that was done to you instead of allowing you to move forward with your life. Revenge doesn't release you from the pain. It keeps you trapped in it. And in the end, the person who hurt you has likely moved on while you remain consumed by the desire for payback, letting it eat away at your peace and joy. Here's something to consider when you let go of the need for revenge. You free yourself. You free yourself from the toxic cycle of bitterness and anger that holds you in place. You make a conscious decision to rise above, to walk away from the need for retribution, and to move forward in peace. Revenge keeps you tied to the person who hurt you, but forgiveness, letting go, and choosing to rise above frees you from them, from the past, and from the pain they caused. Now let's turn to the need for validation. It's something many of us struggle with. We want to be seen. We want to be recognized for our worth. We want to be praised for our efforts, acknowledged for our sacrifices, and admired for the person we are. We want the world to see us, to know us, to value us. We crave external validation to confirm that we matter. But here's the thing, the need for external validation is a bottomless pit. No matter how many compliments, accolades, or affirmations you receive, there's always a part of you that feels like it's not enough. There's always a voice in your head telling you that you need more, that you need bigger recognition, that you need more people to approve of you. And when you don't get it, when people overlook you or ignore your worth, the pain can feel unbearable. But validation from the outside world is fragile. It's fleeting. People's opinions can change in a moment. And when you base your worth on what others think of you, you're setting yourself up for constant disappointment. You cannot control the opinions of others. You cannot make people see you for who you truly are. And you know what? That's okay. You have everything you need within you. Your worth is not determined by the approval of others, by the likes on your social media, or by the recognition you receive in your career or relationships. Your worth is intrinsic. It comes from who you are at the core, from your heart, your soul, your character. You were born worthy, not because of anything you've done or anything someone else says, but simply because you exist. And when you can accept that your worth is not up for negotiation, it no longer matters whether or not the world validates you. Imagine how freeing it would be to let go of the need to seek validation. Imagine waking up each day knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to wait for others to recognize your value. You don't need to wait for external praise to feel good about who you are. You can walk in the confidence of knowing that your worth is not dependent on anyone else's approval. When you let go of the need for revenge or validation, you stop living for others. You stop chasing after something that will never bring you the peace, fulfillment, or joy you seek. You stop letting other people's actions or opinions control your happiness. You begin to realize that you are enough just as you are without needing to change for anyone or to get anyone's approval. It's not easy, I know that. We live in a world that constantly tells us to seek revenge for the wrongs done to us and to chase validation from others. But the greatest power you have is in your ability to choose how you respond to the world around you. You don't have to fight back. You don't have to prove yourself. You can let go of the need for revenge and validation, and in doing so, you step into a place of peace, freedom, and self-worth. Let me say it again, your worth is not defined by someone else's actions or opinions. You don't need revenge to feel justice. You don't need validation to feel important. You are already enough. And when you let go of these external needs, you give yourself the freedom to live with peace, purpose, and joy. You give yourself the freedom to move forward, to heal, and to thrive without being weighed down by the need for others to recognize your value or pay for the wrongs done to you. When you release the need for revenge and validation, you take back your power. You step into your own light. You walk in freedom, knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough and you are worthy exactly as you are. It's easy to get caught up in the storm of life, especially when others do things that hurt us, betray us, or treat us unfairly. In those moments, it feels like the world is against us. The pain can be sharp. The injustice can feel overwhelming. And the natural reaction is to defend ourselves, to fight back, to try to make the wrong right, and to ensure that we don't let their actions stand unchecked. But here's a lesson that will transform your life. You have the power to choose your peace over their actions. Let me tell you, it's not easy. When someone hurts you, disrespects you, or betrays your trust, the emotional pull to retaliate or to seek revenge is powerful. We want to show them that their actions were wrong. We want them to feel the pain they caused us. We want them to know that they can't treat us like that and get away with it. But here's the truth, their actions don't have to disrupt your peace. What if you could choose to not let their behavior affect how you feel? What if instead of reacting in anger, frustration, or hurt, you could respond from a place of calm, wisdom, and strength? What if you could choose peace over conflict, serenity over chaos, and healing over bitterness? When someone does something hurtful, it can feel like an attack on your very being. You feel rejected, unseen, disrespected. In those moments, your mind races with thoughts of how unfair it is, how they don't understand you, or how you need to make them realize the pain they've caused. But this is where the key to your freedom lies. You don't need to make them see your pain for you to heal. You don't need to make them feel guilty or regretful for you to regain your peace. You can choose your peace no matter what they do. Imagine this: someone close to you says something hurtful, something that cuts deep into your heart. Your instinct is to react, to speak your mind, to show them that their words were wrong and that they've hurt you. But instead, you pause, you take a deep breath, you choose not to let their words define you. You refuse to let their actions take away your peace. In that moment, you regain your power. The key here is recognizing that their actions are a reflection of them, not of you. When someone acts out of anger, hurt, or frustration, it's often because they are carrying their own pain. They are fighting their own battles. Their behavior is about them, not about you. And when you internalize their actions as something that needs a response or a reaction from you, you are giving them the power to dictate your peace. You are giving them authority over your emotions. And that's a power you should never hand over to anyone. Think about it. When you hold on to anger or resentment, when you allow someone's behavior to dictate how you feel, you are giving them control over your happiness. You're allowing their negativity to take root in your heart and mind. And when that happens, your peace slips away. You may be holding on to the pain, but they've already moved on. You're allowing them to take up space in your mind and heart without even realizing it. So in order to reclaim your peace, you must make the conscious decision to let go of their actions. You must choose to not let what they do affect who you are or how you feel. And here's another truth: when you choose peace, you heal. The more you let go of the need to react, to defend, or to fight back, the more you allow yourself to heal. You stop carrying the weight of resentment, bitterness, and anger. You stop holding on to grudges that weigh you down and prevent you from moving forward. You begin to let go of the negative energy that has been controlling your heart and soul. You make room for peace, love, and healing. And that peace starts to radiate from the inside out. When you choose peace, you're not saying that what they did was right. You're not saying that they shouldn't be held accountable. You're choosing to release the hold their actions have over you. You're choosing to not let their behavior dictate how you feel. You are choosing to rise above the negativity, the hurt, and the chaos they bring into your life. Now, this doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you. Choosing peace doesn't mean you ignore boundaries or allow disrespect. It means that you set healthy boundaries while still maintaining a heart of peace and forgiveness. It means that you don't react in anger or frustration when someone tries to provoke you. Instead, you respond with calmness, wisdom, and strength. You refuse to let their behavior control your emotions. Choosing peace isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes great strength to let go of the desire for revenge, the need to prove someone wrong, or the urge to fight back. It takes great strength to walk away from a situation that could escalate into chaos and instead choose to protect your peace. Peace is not passive, it is powerful. So today I want to leave you with this powerful truth: you are in control of your reactions. No one can make you angry, upset, or bitter unless you allow them to. Life will continue to bring challenges, but the key to living in peace is choosing not to react when others hurt you. Remember, the world can throw all sorts of negativity your way, but your response is yours to choose. When you choose peace, grace, and forgiveness, you protect your heart and your mind. You rise above the hurt. You stand firm in your integrity. And you walk in the freedom that only comes from refusing to let someone else's actions dictate your peace. So the next time someone hurts you, take a deep breath, let go of the urge to react, and choose to rise above it. Your response will not only protect your peace, but it will also build your strength and character. You have the power to live in peace no matter what others do. Thank you